Ronaldo and Benzema, the silent partnership that defined an era. When people talk about Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema, they usually start with statistics, goals, assists, trophies, Champions League nights filled with highlights and celebrations. But the true relationship between Ronaldo and Benzema was never built on numbers. It was built on something far quieter, far deeper, and far more difficult to see from the outside. When Ronaldo arrived at Real Madrid in 2009, he arrived as the center of gravity. Everything bent toward him. The club, the media, the expectations, even the atmosphere inside the Santiago Bernabeu revolved around one man. He was not just a footballer, he was a project, a symbol, a promise of dominance. And next to him stood Karim Benzema, a gifted striker from Lyon, talented but reserved, confident with the ball, but unsure of his place in a dressing room suddenly overflowing with pressure. At first, they were not close. There was no instant chemistry, no dramatic friendship, no public declarations. Benzema spoke little. Ronaldo observed a lot. Training sessions were intense, often silent, filled with repetition rather than conversation. Ronaldo demanded perfection from everyone around him, and Benzema was no exception. Every misplaced run, every second of hesitation, every moment of uncertainty was noticed. But while many players felt crushed under Ronaldo's standards, Benzema reacted differently. He didn't argue, he didn't defend himself, he adjusted. Slowly, deliberately, he began to shape his game not around his own comfort, but what the team needed and what Ronaldo needed most. Ronaldo began to notice something unusual. When Benzema drifted away from the box, defenders followed him. When Benzema dropped deep, space opened behind him. When Benzema chose not to shoot, the defensive line hesitated, unsure of what would happen next. These were not accidents, they were signs of intelligence. What looked like passivity to fans was to Ronaldo calculation. Their understanding didn't come from conversations in the dressing room. It came from thousands of repeated movements on the pitch, from eye contact during counterattacks, from subtle changes in positioning, from moments where Benzema sacrificed his own opportunity so Ronaldo could arrive unmarked. And every time it worked, Ronaldo remembered. Criticism surrounded Benzema almost immediately. Spanish media questioned his finishing, his confidence, his mentality. Whistles echoed in the Bernabeu when chances were missed. Yet Ronaldo never joined the noise. He never distanced himself. Instead, he kept passing to Benzema. He kept trusting him. And trust, coming from a player like Ronaldo, meant everything. There was a quiet moment early in their partnership, remembered by people inside the club, but rarely spoken about publicly. After a difficult match, Benzema sat alone in the dressing room, head down, absorbing the criticism that would soon flood the headlines. Ronaldo walked past, stopped, and simply said, "Keep moving, the goals will come." No lecture, no drama, just reassurance. That moment mattered. From that point on, Benzema began to understand his true role. He wasn't there to compete with Ronaldo. He was there to complement him, to balance his intensity with intelligence, to turn Ronaldo's hunger into something unstoppable. This was not friendship. This was alignment. And it was only the beginning of a partnership that would quietly reshape Real Madrid's modern history. As the seasons unfolded, the relationship between Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema moved into a phase that outsiders rarely understood. On the surface, it looked unbalanced. One man collected goals, headlines, awards. The other absorbed criticism, doubt, and constant questions about his value. But inside Real Madrid's system, the balance was far more precise than it appeared. Ronaldo was obsessed with efficiency. Every movement had a purpose. Every sprint was calculated to arrive at the perfect second. And the more he studied Benzema's game, the more he realized that Benzema was not playing football in straight lines. He was playing in layers. He read defenders before the ball arrived, pulling them into spaces they didn't want to occupy, forcing them to choose between following him or protecting Ronaldo. Either decision created danger. Slowly, Benzema reshaped his identity. He stopped behaving like a traditional number 9. He became something else entirely, a connector, a decoy, a reference point that allowed the attack to breathe. When Ronaldo cut inside, Benzema drifted wide. When Ronaldo attacked the near post, Benzema occupied the center backs. When defenders collapsed towards Ronaldo, Benzema arrived late, unnoticed. These movements rarely appeared in highlight reels. They didn't trend on social media, but Ronaldo felt them every match. There were moments of visible frustration early on. Ronaldo gestured when a run wasn't made. Benzema hesitated when the shot felt forced. Cameras captured these exchanges and turned them into stories of conflict. But behind the scenes, something more constructive was happening. Ronaldo wasn't angry, he was demanding, and Benzema wasn't confused, he was learning. Their communication evolved without words, a glance before a counterattack, a raised eyebrow after a missed chance, a subtle hand signal during build-up play. Over time, they no longer needed to talk. Benzema knew where Ronaldo wanted the space to open. Ronaldo knew when Benzema would drop instead of shoot. This mutual understanding created a unique form of trust. Ronaldo, a player known for demanding the ball constantly, began passing more willingly when Benzema was nearby. He trusted that the ball would come back at the right moment, in the right space, and when it did, the result was often inevitable. Criticism towards Benzema never truly disappeared. There were seasons where his goal tally looked modest compared to the expectations of a Real Madrid striker. Yet Ronaldo defended him consistently, not with emotion, but with conviction. Football is not just about scoring, he said more than once. Those words were said for the cameras. They were said because Ronaldo believed them. Inside the dressing room, Benzema's role was understood. Coaches valued him, teammates relied on him, and Ronaldo, more than anyone, knew his importance. Without Benzema's intelligence, Ronaldo's movement became predictable. Without Benzema's sacrifice, Ronaldo's freedom disappeared. What they were building was not a rivalry and not a friendship in the traditional sense. They didn't need to be close off the pitch. What they shared was stronger than affection. It was alignment, a shared understanding of football at its highest level. Ronaldo brought hunger, obsession, and execution. Benzema brought intelligence, sacrifice, and balance. Together, they created something greater than either could have achieved alone. A partnership built not on ego, but on trust, not on noise, but on understanding. And in a sport where individual glory often overshadows collective brilliance, their bond stands as a reminder that true greatness is rarely achieved in isolation. Sometimes, the most powerful partnerships in football are not the loudest ones. They are the ones built in silence and proven by time.